The story of Noah and the Ark is one of the best-known narratives in the Bible, found in the book of Genesis, chapters 6 to 9. It describes the corruption of mankind, God's decision to cleanse the earth through a flood, and the salvation of Noah, his family, and representatives of all animal species. The story begins with a somber description of the condition of the world. Humanity had multiplied, but along with the increase in population came growing corruption. Violence and sin spread so widely that God, seeing the prevailing wickedness, regretted having created man. The Lord decided that the earth needed a radical cleansing. Noah, however, was different. He is described as a righteous man, upright in his generation, who walked with God. Because of his righteousness, God decided to spare Noah and his family from the impending judgment. God revealed to Noah his plan to destroy the earth with a flood and instructed him to build a great ark that would be salvation for him, his family, and a representation of every species of animal. Noah followed God's instructions precisely. The ark was a gigantic vessel made of cypress wood, 300 cubits long, approximately 135 meters, 50 cubits wide, 22.5 meters, and 30 cubits high, 13.5 meters. It had 3 floors, a side door and an opening for ventilation. The construction of the ark was not only a physical undertaking, but also an act of faith and obedience that lasted many years, during which time Noah probably faced mockery and skepticism from his contemporaries. When the ark was completed, God commanded Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, Shem, Ham and Japheth, and their wives to enter the ark, along with couples of all kinds of animals. Then the rain began to fall, and the fountains of the great deep burst open, releasing underground water. The flood lasted 40 days and 40 nights, covering the whole earth and submerging even the highest mountains. Noah and his family remained in the ark for more than a year, while the waters slowly receded. Finally, the ark rested on the mountains of Ararat. Noah released a raven and then a dove to see if the waters had receded. When the dove returned with an olive branch, Noah knew that the earth was beginning to dry out. After the flood, Noah built an altar and offered sacrifices to God, who accepted the offering and promised never again to destroy all life on earth with a flood. God blessed Noah and his sons, commanding them to be fruitful, multiply and fill the earth. As a sign of his covenant, God placed a rainbow in the sky, a visible reminder of his promise. The story of Noah and the ark is rich in spiritual lessons. It teaches us about the importance of obedience and faith in God, even in the face of adversity and doubt. Noah is an example of how righteousness and devotion can lead to salvation, even when the world around him is steeped in corruption. The flood, in turn, represents a new beginning, a fresh start for humanity, with the promise that God will always be there, offering mercy and protection. Public opinion. The story of Noah and the ark has been interpreted in various ways over the centuries and continues to have a significant impact on culture and religion. Religious perspectives. For many Christians, Jews and Muslims, the story is a literal account of divine intervention in human history. It is seen as a lesson in God's justice and the importance of obedience. Noah is often cited as an example of unshakable faith. Cultural and literary perspectives. Outside of the religious context, the story of Noah has been explored in books, films, and art as an archetypal myth of destruction and renewal. It serves as a powerful metaphor for themes of new beginnings, purification and the relationship between humanity and nature. From a scientific point of view, the story of Noah and the flood is often considered a myth, possibly based on local floods in ancient Mesopotamia that became part of the region's folklore. However, some researchers point to evidence of great prehistoric floods as possible inspirations for the story. Contemporary debates. The narrative of Noah and the ark is also the subject of debate in the context of modern climate change and environmental catastrophes. Some see the story as a timeless warning about the dangers of environmental degradation and the need to care for our planet. To summarize, the story of Noah and the ark remains a rich source of inspiration and reflection, both for people of faith and for those who see it as a powerful cultural narrative. It reminds us of the fragility of life, the importance of living according to just principles, and the hope of a new beginning, even in the darkest times. Mythological perspective. Many cultures around the world have myths of great floods that destroyed civilizations, which suggests that the story of Noah may have been a way of preserving the memory of a catastrophic event that occurred in ancient times. These myths often serve as allegories, teaching lessons about morality, divine obedience, and the relationship between humanity and natural forces. From a historical point of view, it is possible that the Noah narrative is based on one or more significant local floods that occurred in Mesopotamia or adjacent regions. The Tigris and Euphrates basin, for example, was subject to seasonal floods, which could have caused enough devastation to inspire a story of divine judgment. These floods may have been amplified and reinterpreted over generations, until they became the story we know. Geologically, there were significant events in prehistory that could have contributed to the formation of the flood myth. For example, the breaking of a natural dam that isolated the Black Sea from the Mediterranean, resulting in a massive flood, is a hypothesis that some scientists consider as a possible origin for the flood myth. For many believers, the story of Noah is seen as a literal account of divine intervention, where God, seeing the corruption of humanity, decided to cleanse the earth through a flood, sparing only the righteous Noah and his family. Considering all these perspectives, it seems plausible that the story of Noah is a combination of cultural memory of ancient catastrophic events, enriched with religious and moral symbolism. The flood may have been a real event, albeit perhaps local or regional, which was reinterpreted over time to explain spiritual truths and ethical teachings. The strength and durability of this narrative is partly due to its ability to resonate with universal human experiences, such as the struggle for survival, the need for moral renewal, and hope in times of crisis. In the end, the story of Noah and the Ark, whether seen as myth, history, or literal truth, remains a powerful narrative that offers valuable lessons and reflections, regardless of how we interpret it.